It's a great blessing to be with you here on this Tuesday, and I want to look at a passage that I believe will be an encouragement to you. As believers, we have the tremendous privilege of serving the Lord here. We have the privilege of being an ambassador for Christ. We are a child of God, placed here on this earth to fulfill and finish the work of Jesus Christ. The Spirit of God enables us to do what Christ wants us to do if we yield to Him. It's a tremendous privilege. But, of course, along the pathway, there are problems, there are sorrows, there are tears. We live in a cursed earth. All creation groans, as 1 Corinthians chapter 15 so clearly states, and there just is the evidence of the curse everywhere. But in Revelation chapter 21, we realize that there will be a day after the millennium, after the white throne judgment, that all things will be made new. We read in verse 1, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, the sin-cursed earth, and there was no more sea." And then it talks about how God will fellowship with us. He will be with us and be our God. Verse 4, "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." No more of the suffering, the sorrow, the heavy pressures of this earth because of the curse. It is going to be totally eliminated. And then verse 5, "And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful." You look at the world and you realize, my, what a mess. In these few years that we've done this little recording, I'm amazed how things have changed dramatically for the negative. We've certainly seen God's intervention. But it is very discouraging when you look at the problems that America is facing. Is not just here, it's literally around the world, from the moral revolution to the instability in governments to the very real possibility of major conflict around the world that could affect us. All of these things are there. The attitude against Israel is amazing in these days. And we can look at that and we can get so weary. But I want to encourage you, it's not always going to be so. Christ is going to win the victory. And there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and all things will be made new. Now that's a great hope. We don't need to be so bound by discouragement in this world that we miss out on being what God wants us to be, because He wants more and more people to be a new creation so they can live on the new earth and have a oneness with Him forever. That's our privilege today. Just knowing that we are going to be with Him in a new heavens and new earth ought to encourage us. And it ought to encourage us not to wish it was right now, but instead to realize we have a great trust given to us, knowing this truth, to reach a lost world with the glorious news of the gospel. So remind yourself, some point there'll be no more sin in government. Some point there will be no more sin in the culture. At some point the earth will have no curse and the heavens will be perfect. It will be beyond what we can imagine. So let's stay encouraged that someday God's going to make all things new.